Hello and welcome. It's April 13th. Welcome back to Kevin Thinning Stretch. We're going to be talking about a series that happened over the weekend. I wanted to publish this a couple hours ago, but I had to do my taxes because I'm a procrastinator. Did my taxes, looked down at the sheet, 2024. I filed the wrong year. Panic mode. If you're listening from the IRS, that's a joke. I didn't do that. Please ignore. Now let's talk baseball. It was a good week for some teams. Good weekend. A couple of teams that needed it got it. We'll talk about those later. Started off with the Tigers and the Marlins. Actually, kind of started off right away because the Tigers haven't been playing that well, and they were able to sweep the Marlins, which was huge. The Marlins still not a great team, but going into, I guess they were in Detroit. I was going to say going into Miami, but going in against them and sweeping, that's still big. I mean, they're a good enough team to where that's tough. So the Tigers get it going. They needed that because the division isn't out of reach, obviously. It's still early, but they were in the basement. Them and the Royals, man, they need to get it going. Tigers did. See if they can keep that rolling. The next series was the Twins and the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays stole one, but the Twins are hot. I don't know if you guys know this. The Twins look good. And we're not talking this week yet, but they just put a spanking on Garrett Crochet. I think they dropped 11 runs in like 1 1/3 inning or something like that. I mean, we'll talk about that later in the week, but the Twins are hot, man. They took 2 or 3 against the Blue Jays. Blue Jays just battling the injuries. There's a couple teams like that out there where early on in the season they just can't catch a break. Blue Jays got to stay afloat because that's a tough division. Luckily for them, the Yankees are on a little bit of a cold streak. I don't think they have to worry about the Rays too much. And the Red Sox started off poorly, but Jays got to get it going. Twins, keep doing it, man. I mean, Tigers and Royals had slow starts. If they can be in the hunt, who knows what they do at the deadline? I mean, they acquired a lot of young talent that they could trade from last year. Would confuse me, but good on them if they keep playing well. The next one, we got that Yankee skid. They get swept by the Rays. They lost 2 or 3 to the A's last week, which the A's are on a rampage in New York. But they're getting swept by the Rays in the Trop. And it's really the bats. The bats for the Yankees, not what they should be. It's not like they got shut out in this series, a 5-3 loss, 5-4, 5-4. Very similar games all around, but the bats are going to need to be a little bit better than that. If you told me the starting pitching was going to give up 5 every game, they got to take at least one of those games. Yankees bats are heating up. They just put 11 on the Angels. I didn't see the end of that game, but it should be 11 at least. Yankees, that whole AL East feels a little cold, waiting for it to heat up because that division should be very good. And the Rays, playing some Rays ball, man. Playing good baseball. Chandler Simpson is having a good run. I don't think this is who he's going to be. He has his OPS up in like the 700s. He's not that guy. He's more of a pest. I hate to say Terrence Gore because he was just a pinch runner, but he's more of just a weapon with his legs. It doesn't grade out well defensively. I don't think he's going to hit like he's been hitting, but all the less, still an absolute weapon with his wheels. Rays are playing good ball. Good for them. The team in the AL East that I think is probably doing the best, which isn't saying too much in that division to start the year, but the Orioles take 2 of 3 from the Giants. There's too much orange here. I know it's a big college football thing, the aesthetics of the matchup. Ideally, you want 2 different colors, but I feel like if the teams are the 2 same colors, the main like reds and blues work the best. With these weird orange-black teams, like there's too much orange going on. I don't know which team's which. Obviously, that's a stretch, but you get what I'm saying. The Orioles took 2 of 3 here. Very similar games all around, 6-3, 6-2, 6-2. Kind of weird. I don't know. Just played the same game 3 times. Good for the Orioles. Next one is a nothing burger. We talked about it in the last episode. Anytime it's a 4-game series and they split 2-2, might as well just not play it. White Sox Royals split. I do want to give a shout out. Tanner Murray made his debut for the White Sox. Got traded from the Rays this offseason or last season. I actually met Tanner Murray. Cool dude. If this ever somehow finds him, shout out to you. Congrats. Made his debut. Hit a home run. Not in his opening game, but in the opening series. Good for Tanner Murray, man. Happy for the kid. He's awesome. White Sox fans, root for him. I guess we'll talk about this here. If you guys saw the new City Connects that came out, the note I have here is Royal City Connects. Yikes. That was the sentiment on pretty much all of them that got released. I don't know what they're doing. It feels like they're straying farther away from what these should be. They just feel weird. I like minor league jersey-ish. I don't know if you saw the Brewers. It doesn't even feel Brewers-ish at all. I liked the Braves. The Braves look good. I like the Reds in concept, but it's maybe a little too much red. The Rangers ones, it's a red jersey that says Tejas. What are we doing, MLB? I mean, you have so much to go off of with Texas and just a red Tejas. It looked like a Little League World Series regional jersey. Not even like the actual ones they get when they show up to Williamsport. They've lost the plot with the City Connect jerseys. Even the Orioles ones looked cool, and then I saw it on a player, and it's like, nah, don't like it. But yeah, these Royals ones were close. They were close to being cool, and then you see them in person, and the socks look ridiculous, and the colors are weird. Don't like them. Royals split the series. Shout out Tanner Murray. New City Connects suck. That's what I got on that series. And the next series was probably the biggest storyline-wise as far as a team that struggled out the gate, that should be very good. That was my World Series pick. And just a huge 4-game sweep. Mariners beat the Astros 9-6, 8-7, 6-1, 6-2. The offense is here. The pitching showed up in the second 2 games. This is hopefully the Mariners coming out of that slump and just being one of the best teams in baseball for the rest of the season. I want to see the Mariners do it. I'd say this is less of the Astros disappearing, although they're one of those teams that's been bit by the injury early. I could see that just fading them through the whole season. I mean, I don't, with the way the Rangers are playing, with how good I think the Mariners can be, the Angels are sneaky fun. The A's are dominating teams, and if they get any pitching, they're great. The Astros, I just don't see it this year, and getting swept by the Mariners, especially when they were playing this poorly, is a bad look. I'm not completely out. We'll see if they can get like Amai back. We'll see. But huge for the Mariners to get 4 games there against a division rival. Moving on to the NL, we got some Central teams. One that's disappointing and a little scary with injuries, and one that is awesome. The Pirates and the Cubs. The Cubs have been disappointing to start the season. The injuries have bit them, but you got to go. I mean, this division, the Brewers haven't been great. We'll get to them later. But you got to go, especially with Cade Horton out. You can't be climbing at the end of the season to try to get back in. You have to be on top of that division. And the Pirates are playing great ball. It's really just pitching and hitting. The defense is not great, and you saw that in Game 3 where they blew a lead. But O'Neal Cruz is mashing to start the year. I think you can live with a couple defensive indifferences in center field if he's going to be hitting the ball this well. But yeah, the Pirates take 2 or 3. They blew the third game. They had a chance to sweep. And the Pirates look good. They just demolished the Nationals again today, but we're not talking about that, of course. The next one, we got D-backs Phillies. The Phillies are not looking great to start the year. Harper, he's crushing breaking balls, but he just can't catch up to fastballs. The offense looks meh. Haven't gotten Wheeler back yet. I think they'll be fine. I think that offense clicks once it heats up. I think the rotation's good enough and you get Wheeler back. I think they'll be fine, but the D-backs take 2 or 3 here. The D-backs, they're getting what they deserve because the last couple of years, they've looked like a great team, and then the pitching injuries have just completely decimated their seasons. Now you're looking at a rotation, Zach Gallen, Mike Soroka, and they're doing it. They're doing the damn thing. They're pitching. So I hope this sticks up for the D-backs because that lineup is so fun. And if that pitching can just get some health, they could be a fun team. And I've been searching for that team that really solidifies themselves under the Dodgers in the NL West. Could be the Padres. They're playing really good ball. But I think roster-wise, if this D-backs rotation can pitch, I think they're lined up a little bit better. But we'll see. That'll be fun to track throughout the year because the Padres look good too. The next series, we're going out to Cincinnati, where the Angels look good. Jose Soriano has been the best pitcher in baseball. Last year, he was doing very similar things, but the whiff numbers weren't as good. A lot of hard contact, but he gets the ball hit on the ground so much that he kind of hedges the hard contact. This year, he's missing bats. There's not as much hard contact. He's getting a lot more whiffs, and he looks like a Cy Young candidate. I mean, he has a .33 ERA through 3 starts, 10 strikeouts. He's been absolutely shoving. On the other end of that, Andrew Abbott, he and Chase Burns didn't have great starts. And that's big for the Reds because, like I said with the Cubs, this division is open for the taking, especially if the Brewers and the Cubs are going to play how they've been playing, kind of here and there, not too consistent. If the Reds can put some together, that would mean Andrew Abbott or Chase Burns stepping up and being the ace until Hunter Green comes back. And these 2 starts were not a good sign. Burns couldn't find the strike zone. Abbott got hit. You need one of those 2 guys to step up. Nick Lodolo could too. I think he's less of the ace type and more you're really happy about having him in the 3, maybe even 2. But they need someone to step up because Hunter Green isn't coming back until like mid-season. So they really need that. Soler continues to rake to start the season. When he's not getting tackled by managers, he's hitting home runs. He had a huge grand slam. I mean, the ball looks like it goes 500 feet off his bat every time. One note about the Angels that I'll make that I didn't like too much is they called up George Klassen, and I talked about that in an episode before, how I thought maybe he was a mid-season call-up for them, and how I really liked his stuff. But they called him up almost immediately, like a week into the season, and his stuff looks good, but he can't locate it. He's not ready. I really hope they don't do what they did with Reed Detmers and see that as a, hey, let's try to harness this into a 1-inning bullpen guy. Send it back down. Let him get in the strike zone. Let that stuff play as a starter and call him back up when you're ready. I don't think they'll do that because the Angels organization is so bad about rushing people. And I think the reason, especially this year, they're going to rush people is because the manager and the GM are both on 1 year, like, hey, you got to do it deals. So I hope they do right by the kid instead of trying to save their jobs. Send him down, let him find his location, get him back up, and he can actually help you. He's not helping you right now. Angels take 2 or 3 in that series. We'll move on to the A's, who their logo's an elephant. They might as well have been 20 elephants trampling through New York City because they wreaked havoc on the city of New York. They played 6 games against the Yankees and the Mets over last week and the weekend. They were 5-1. They swept the Mets this weekend, winning 4-0, 11-6, and 1-0. The 11-6 game is A's baseball. They're going to mash, and they're going to give up runs. The ones I'm really encouraged by is the first and the third game, winning 4-0 and 1-0. I know the Mets don't have Soto, but to get shutout performances against a good lineup in the Mets, that's huge. I mean, they're going to have to do that if they want to compete this year. They're going to have to get some good starts. They're going to have to save the good guys in their bullpen with good starts throughout series. This is encouraging for the A's. I don't think this is the year for them. I think they need a little bit more pitching. I think next year maybe you see the wave of college guys they've drafted. But if this is how they're going to pitch, they might have a chance here. Next series, are the Braves the best team in baseball? Let's say no. It's the Dodgers. But the Braves look good to start the season. And with their pitching injuries, that's very encouraging. Their lineup has looked great. Chris Sale has looked great. And they took 2 or 3 from the Guardians. This series was blowout city. Game 1, Braves went 11-5. Game 2, Guardians 6-0. Game 3, Braves 13-1. Were the stands empty after the 5th inning in every game? What a weird series. Just a bunch of blowouts. 2 good teams, though. Good for the Braves. I think they're going to be good. If this continues, I think you almost have to swap how you feel about the Phillies and the Braves. Because going into it, I felt like the Phillies and the Mets were people's favorites, and the Braves were kind of hanging out under that because of the injury stuff. But if they're going to play like this, you got to respect it. They look really good. The next series is obviously my favorite. The Nats swept the Brewers. And the Brewers, they're battling injuries as well. They're one of those teams where Churio's out, Yelich got hurt in this series. Some of their pitch, Kyle Harrison, Gary Sanchez tried to blow up his knee, throwing the ball 70 miles an hour from 20 feet away from him. They got some injury stuff. But even then, this was the best team in the NL last year. No one would have given the Nationals the chance to sweep this series. So this was awesome from the Nationals here. Game 1, it was tied late. And Trevor McGill, just, if you didn't see it, just an inning from hell. Doesn't know how to do PFPs. The Nationals had 3 bunts in the inning to blow the game open. McGill missed 2 plays at the plate. He had one where he just threw it and knew he was safe and then yelled a word clearly out loud. Game 2, 3-1 Nats win. Foster Griffin looks really good throwing. And then game 3, an 8-6 Nationals win. The Nats are coming back in games pretty well. They fight a lot. And the biggest news from this weekend, James Wood's back in a big way. He wins NL Player of the Week. He was just unreal. Robbed a homer, hit a couple, just roping everything. And then C.J. Abrams is playing really well to start this season. I did, again, not going to talk about it too much, but today had a homer against Skeens in the first. He just looks dialed in. When CJ's dialed in, he looks so good. So, yeah, the Nats rolled this series. Still, pitching and bullpen is a little scary, but being able to win a series like this, sweep a series like this against a team the caliber of the Brewers, it's just a different Nationals team from the last, 5 years? They're playing a different brand of ball. All their offensive categories are top 5. They're hitting the crap out of the ball. It's fun to watch. Get some pitching. And it'll be even more fun to watch. The next series, these teams are kind of weird because they just kept swapping this offseason and last year. Red Sox took 2 or 3 from the Cardinals. Wilson Contreras was playing his old team. I don't think Sonny Gray got a start, but he's playing his old team. Dustin May was playing his... I don't know. They seem to be in cahoots trading between the Reds and the Cardinals, which makes sense because you have Chaim Bloom there with the Cardinals now. Was with the Red Sox. It's all about who you know. Cardinals took the first game 3-2. Good pitching duel. And then games 2 and 3, the Red Sox just hit. It was 7-1 in the second game, 9-3 in the third game. This is kind of what you're going to get with the Cardinals. They're going to be plucky. They're going to be fun to watch most games, but they just don't have the talent to hang around with teams like the Red Sox. So taking one of the three, no shame in that. The next series was probably the most fun for one fan base. I don't know. The Nationals was fun. Mariners was probably fun too. A's was fun. But the Padres were electric. Four-game sweep of the Rockies. The first two games, walk-off homers. Slam Diego in game one. Padres win 7-3 on a Xander Bogaerts walk-off grand slam. Where is Don Orsillo? Welcome to Slam Diego. I botched that. It's fine. Game two, even better call, question mark. Gavin Sheets walk-off three-run bomb, and Don Orsillo hits the holy Sheets call. I love it. Game three, game four, Padres win big, 9-5. The Dolly Parton game, working 9-5, and 7-2 in game four. The Padres had to have it against the Rockies. They're playing good ball, and again, I don't think the Giants are going to be that second team behind the Dodgers. To me, it's open between the Padres and the D-backs. It's obviously not going to be the Rockies, so we'll see. But I like what I'm seeing from the Padres. They need to pitch. But Preller, he's going to be aggressive at the deadline, so I'm holding out hope. I want to root for the Padres. I was down on them going into the year, but I love watching Fernando. I love watching Merrill. Obviously, Mason Miller. Ridiculous. Best pitcher on the planet. The last series, possibly the most fun, two most talented teams. I don't know how you would pose that, but these two teams are so fun to watch. Obviously, you have the Dodgers, very fun to watch, but these Rangers, they're hitting. Their staff is improved, getting Gore. They look good, man. I mean, game one, if Max Muncy didn't exist, they win, and they win the series against the Dodgers. But unfortunately for them, Max Muncy does exist. Game one, 3 homers, including a walk-off home run. Dodgers win 8-7. What a joke. What a game. Max Muncy's one of those guys where when he's locked in, don't pitch to him. But then you look at the lineup, who else are you going to pitch to? So it's just a nightmare. Second game, Dodgers win 6-3. And then game 3, DeGrom shoves. And that's what you're going to need if you're playing the Dodgers. You can win a big scoring game. That's going to be tough with the way their offense fights and how much firepower they have. You really need your starter to give you at least 5 quality if your bullpen is rested, at least 6 or 7 quality if it's not. They're just going to be such a tough out this year. But the Rangers look great, man. I think with the Mariners scuffle early, if they can just take off and never look back, maybe they run that division. I don't see it. I think the Mariners are too talented, but the way they've looked, I think the Rangers absolutely could be a playoff team. Very exciting. I'd love to watch them in the playoffs. That was a recap of every series. Burned through that one kind of quick. I do have an end segment here, and it's one that I'm pretty passionate about. Because as you know, I bought this mic, I bought a computer. I'm talking about baseball. It's really all I care about. It's baseball and football. The two things in life that aren't people that I love the most. Or my cat, I guess I would say. Baseball, Archie. Sorry, Arch. My end segment, is it more fun to be a fan of a contender or a rebuilder? Now, I understand. Anyone that is on the casual side of fandom, 100% contender. No questions asked. I understand that. If you're a casual Phillies fan, you've had so much fun over the last however many years of them competing. It's awesome. You get to watch them play in the playoffs. You get to see the heartbreak. You get to see the awesomeness. Good for you. But if you're in the weeds, if you were a true sports sicko like me, and I think this applies a little bit more to football than baseball, But being the fan of a rebuilding team, what's so fun about sports for me is I get to be put in the shoes, not of the players, but I like to put myself in the shoes of the front office managers, the decision makers on roster building. And if you're the fan of a contending team, there's a lot less of that going on than there is a rebuilder. You don't get to look at the draft as fun. You're not picking in the top 10. You're usually picking high 20s to the 30s where the elite players are not there. The offseason for a contending team, unless you're the Dodgers, where you're just going to scoop everyone up, is going to be a little more underwhelming, especially in football. But, I mean, baseball, the higher spending teams usually get better free agents, so I could see that being wrong. But I just see it as if you're consistently going to the playoffs and getting your heart broken as a contender and you never get over the hump, I think that is a worse experience than knowing your team is going to be bad, not getting that hope, but looking to the future, diving into the drafts, diving into free agency, seeing what gems you can pick up. It's just a lot more fun for me. Obviously, you want to see that rebuild phase turn into a contending phase because that's the whole goal. But being a fan of teams that have been bad for a decent little bit in the Nationals and the Dolphins, I have a great time looking into the draft. And that segues into, I think what we're going to do, because we're posting 2 episodes a week of series recaps, I think what we're going to get to is a 3rd episode every week where I just do a free-form podcast/video. I think they'll be better on YouTube. We'll work on getting some media attached to those. But I want to do an episode a week that isn't attached to any series. I can talk free-form about, it'll mostly be baseball. It'll be a lot of MLB draft this time of year. We'll talk prospects. We'll talk maybe a mock draft. We'll maybe talk a little NFL draft this year. I don't know. Just a more free-form version of being able to talk about things that aren't these series. And the next month to 2 months will be a lot of MLB drafts. So if you're interested in learning about the prospects, I know the MLB draft is a little harder to follow than NBA, NFL because these players aren't contributing right away. But it's still how the sausage is made. You still got to scout the prospects. And if you don't do a good job of that, you're not going to be a good organization. Look at the Nationals in the last 6 years. That's how it goes. If you bust on your picks year after year after year, your farm system dries up and you have no talent to work with. Even if the Dodgers didn't draft well, they wouldn't be what they are now. So we'll be getting into that. If that interests you, awesome. If it doesn't, check it out. See if you like it. I'll try to make it as accessible as I can to people that don't follow the draft. So yeah, look out for that. Go follow the Twitter at KIS_pod. Subscribe, like, turn on notifications, YouTube, Apple Pods, Spotify. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back later this week. See ya.